Hey, and we're back with another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. As usual, it's me, Jake Baldino. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. This is the first Before You Buy of 2022, and it's a good way to start off because we're actually talking about an old game. It's God of War, but it's on PC now. Now, this game originally released on PS4 April 20th, 2018. And since then, it's like lived a pretty long life. It's been updated for newer consoles, and it was just such a strong game that it never really felt like it slipped away or disappeared from gaming conversations or anything. And thankfully, now more people than ever can enjoy it in a really good way. This PC port so far, at least on first impressions for us here, seems pretty solid and probably one of the better Sony ports. We've got a bunch of high quality gameplay for you here to see for yourself. It is a pretty beefy game, so if you want to run it at native 4K, you're gonna really need a big boy, obviously. And thankfully on the other end, like the minimum requirements are pretty reasonable, so whatever resolution or frame rate, it seems like hopefully a lot of different types of people with different builds will be able to experience this. We've been tweaking around with some settings, using some DLSS, and there are a good amount of options here for tweaking the graphics and the performance. As you can see on screen, it's broken down into display settings and graphics settings. You can change the resolution, add frame caps, do pretty much everything you need or would expect here. It has ultra-wide support too, which is just beautiful. And then in graphics, you can, adjust shadows, reflections, texture quality, all that stuff on the fly, which is nice. The game already looked great, I'll be honest. Whether it was on a base PS4 or all the way up to the PS5, they worked some magic with this one. So on PC, to just have it super high resolution and super high frame rate is incredibly nice. Now, visually, from more of an art standpoint, nothing has really changed here. It looks similar. It's all technical. The lighting is a bit stronger, sometimes slightly different in spots, but it's barely noticeable. The textures are sharper. It's simple, really. If you can run it, you can get yourself the best possible looking version of this game with zero compromises on the technical standpoint. Also, now you can play it with a mouse and keyboard, and it feels better than you'd expect. Like, I stuck mostly to a controller for this footage here just because I was used to it after playing through the game twice on console, but testing out some mouse and keyboard makes like throwing the axe a lot more accurate. It's still just as satisfying. You don't get the feedback as much, but you can really nail those shots. And you are getting a really good game here, man. Like, if you've played it already, you're in for a fresh, like I said, slightly prettier but drastically smoother experience. But if you've never played it at all, you got a hell of a game in front of you. In our original Before You Buy video, I said it was great. And now, years detached and jumping in again here, it really is remarkable how it took such a big risk, Like, it stripped away kind of what made God of War on the surface, right? The hack and slashy beat 'em up 2000s QTE style gameplay with some platforming, some good boss battles, and tons of rage and blood and craziness and orbs, and you get what here seems at first to just be like oh, boo-hoo, Kratos is sad and old now type of thing. That's slower and not as cool, but, play it for, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, not even, and you'll see that they did a really great job taking the old God of War stuff and turning it into something new that actually doesn't really lose its identity. Like, you gotta look for it a little bit, and yes, it shifts a bit, but it's still a video game with combat and violence and cool stuff. It's also got a bit more heart in its story and really focuses on telling it front and center. A simple story of a grieving father and a son who, definitely aren't on the same page. You've got satisfying combat with good feedback and cool executions and kills, and the combat and movesets get more complex over time. You're still doing God of War stuff, you're still juggling enemies, you're still doing cool combos. It just feels like an evolution of the old games, a more behind the back version. The weapons feel great. The abilities and special moves are fun to execute. The parry is simple but satisfying. The bosses are kind of a bummer though. They were a little disappointing then, and they still kind of are now. They're mostly repetitive battles featuring different trolls, but if you stray off the main path, you can find some other cool battles at least, but that would repeat itself a bit, and also some of the executions. The animations were a little bit repetitive then, and they still are now, but it's a minor thing in a game that is really well paced and slowly opens itself up to giving you some freedom and exploration and side diversions to not only just like have more fun, but grow your character out a little bit. I remember at the time being like, oh boy, what is this? You know, yeah, classic Kratos now has stats and leveling up and loot with different buffs, but it's really just enough. Like, it's pretty well balanced and it fits in pretty well. Like, you're not going on these complex treasure hunts, but the game and its environments do a really good job of rewarding you for just looking a little bit extra, and the stuff you get makes you want to look around that little bit extra. Scan the environment for some stuff to knock down to get some currency, or maybe find a quick little puzzle that will unlock a chest for you that will give you new armor or a new rune for your weapon. It's nothing out of this world, and it's nothing obnoxious. It's just like the perfect amount. And the same thing with like the hub area and a little bit of like open-ended travel. It doesn't become an open world game. It gives you just enough of an environment to feel like you have a little bit of downtime to really explore and stroll around. And I keep using the word satisfying, but it is. And like the game with its balancing, like every time it starts bringing you crazy gameplay moments with like, you know, the giant snake or Valkyries and elves and a Dragon Ball Z style fight, it then brings things back down to earth with a great story that's actually really simple and sweet. The game is amazing because of the tightrope it walks between being absolutely huge at times and going full God of War, and then being absolutely small with actually being interesting and real feeling, and not just kind of like, ooh-hoo, boo-hoo, we're sad just for the point of it. Do you get what I'm trying to say here? I don't know. It's really fun to revisit, and especially just with now looking back, with seeing how they grapple with some of the stuff with acknowledging Kratos' past. I think they do a great job with it. So again, like I said before, if you've never experienced this game before, now is the time, man. It's great that you can get it on Steam. That's where I played it. That's where this version is running. It's been an absolute blast jumping back into this, and so far with like pretty much no technical issues, which is nice. Of course, everybody's build, everybody's computer, everybody's situation is different, so that is gonna vary, but so far, so good here. Can't help but just be excited for people to play this for the first time and just jump in with all the added stuff that the game got, with the photo mode, the graphics, everything. So that's really it. I'm gonna let the gameplay run for a little bit, but just wanna say thanks for coming back to Before You Buy. We're very happy to have you for another year. We're gonna talk about a lot of games, show you a lot of gameplay. If you enjoyed this and maybe it helped you out, clicking the like button's all you gotta do, man. It really helps us out. We would appreciate that. But if you're new, subscribe and buckle up, because we put out videos every single day. But I'm Jake Baldino. Catch me here on the Before You Buy videos and on the Friday show. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Wow. Never been this close to the mountain before. Looks so big. I wish Mom was here to see it.
Come, boy.
Hey, look at that. What is it?
Boy,
Look, there are runes written along the side.
what does it say?
As we are, we two, we three. As I alone can never be.
A riddle.
Maybe there's a clue around here.